I get up, I am woman. I ain't got no time to waste now. Won't keep walking with my head down. No, oh, oh, oh. I am woman, it's a woman's world. And I live my life on purpose. Oh, 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 oh. Woman to woman, this is what we about to do now. Shaping the future. This is our world.
It's our woman's world. We are back and it feels so good. We've been off the air for a minute, preparing a new and exciting season for you. I am, of course, Stacey Ann. And look who are still by my side. The amazing Ty and the fabulous Karine. Ladies, what's up?
Oh. Well, I give you the I shall return, so I'm back. How you doing?
I'm looking good, guys. It's good to be back for real.
Yeah.
Like it's about time.
I mean,
2020?
I missed you. Kinda.
You missed us, Ty.
In a way.
So we're back in a new space.
Yeah.
Do you like the new set, guys?
Are we gonna have tea?
We're mixing it up
Is
a
it
little.
a garden party?
Yes, it is.
Because we're gone wide, we're gone Caribbean. We are doing a whole heap of bag of things
I
now,
want
so.
scones. So like my British accent when we're in the garden.
Oh, no, it's not.
Let's just...
Yeah.
No.
So let's...
You know, I'm not having it this season. I'm not having it.
No, Ty, you carry on, man.
What we will have is a whole lot of excitement this season. We will definitely go there because, of course, it's a woman's world. We're just going for a quick break, not months, so we'll be right back.
I'm bold and beautiful. This is a woman's world.
Welcome back. Earlier, I told you we address every topic on the show. Well, there are many on this season's 16-episode schedule, but this one could not wait. You've heard the stories. In recent months, it seems as if we're constantly hearing of another woman being murdered by a man who was supposed to love and care for her. The circumstances may change, but the end results are always the same. What we want to focus on, though, is the solution or solutions. So we invited Dr. Herbert Gale, a social anthropologist who specializes in social violence, including gangs, murder-suicides, repeat killers, and domestic violence. His career centers on research and lecturing at the University of the West Indies, and he has done over 60 major studies and published a number of books, chapters, and articles. Dr. Gale, welcome to It's a Woman's World.
Thank you.
Let's go.
So we're going to start with this sense that we have, that we hear of these instances so often. How prevalent is it really?
All right. The prevalence would be what we have something called a homicide rate per 100,000. For Jamaica, ours would be slightly over 1 per 100,000. So the homicide rate for women would be 9 per 100,000. But if we're talking about by their partner, it would be slightly over 1 per 100,000. So, right, so the figures, so if we match up to other Caribbean states would have higher partner homicide, partner-inflicted homicide of women than we do. The thing is, the more violent we are, is the more we protect women.
Right.
So it's kind of the opposite. The data are a little bit the opposite of the emotions.
Okay.
Right? Because we're extremely violent. We're the most violent country anywhere nearby here. And therefore, we go to tremendous lengths. You won't let your sister go on the road. So we go to tremendous lengths to protect our women. Right? So when a woman dies, it's very jarring because so it hits the senses in a way and it becomes very dramatic. But the reality is a little bit, I mean, when we calm down and look at the data, it's a little bit different from the way it hits us.
So we hear of domestic violence reports.
Right.
But is it really that, though, technically, domestic violence?
No, because children make up 2/3 of domestic violence, victims of domestic violence. And males make up 2/3 of domestic violence because it is males who are killing males. Because domestic violence simply means that there is an intention to either psychologically or physically harm someone. So it's intentional harm done to someone within your home and among family and kin. So it's two things we're looking for. It must be family or kin, and it must be happening in the household.
So can you give us some examples of what that
So
would
if a
be?
brother hits down a brother, that's domestic violence.
I see.
So specific to a romantic relationship.
But
What do we
IPV,
what do we
intimate
call
partner
that?
violence, that's
Right.
the category. That's the category we spend the most time on. But actually, that's usually the result of a long history of violence. So violence against children is going to lead to IPV in the end. What we're doing is looking at the end rather than looking at the beginning.
Why is that though? Why do you think it is that we pay so much more attention to the one between partners?
Because, you see, we're in an era of campaigns and so forth. We get a lot of money from other countries to focus on these areas. And if we get a lot of money to focus on an area called X, as developing countries, that's where we're going to pay a lot of attention. That's one reason. The second reason is the fact that women are simply not directly involved in all wars all the time. So it seems a little bit more unfair. You know, me and my brethren have a war and then I turn the beef onto a woman. That's a little bit harsh. So all the reasons drive moral panic. So we really get into panic, you know. Even the fact that if you look at the reasons women die in Jamaica, right, 11% is just matey war, you know. Women kill women.
Wow.
But it's never in the data at all,
Right.
as if we have no matey war. We on the ground know about matey war,
matey is
but
about.
nobody calculates it, you know.
Yeah.
But we're going to go into some of the causative factors because
Right.
we're not just here to talk about the phenomenon. We want to know what is at the root
Right.
so that we can actually do something about
Yes,
it.
yes.
So we're going to go to a break and come back to continue this very important conversation with Dr. Gail. Stay with us.
Oh, this is a woman's world.
A few years ago, I came across a study that changed my life. The study is the ACE study. ACE being an acronym for Adverse Childhood Experiences. The study was conducted in San Diego, California in the 1990s and examined the long-term effects of childhood trauma on over 17,000 adults. It looked at the effects of 10 adverse childhood experiences under 3 headings: abuse, neglect, and exposure to dysfunction in the home. What the study found was that the higher the ACE score, the greater the likelihood of mental and physical illness, and the shorter the life expectancy. So, persons with a score of 3 were 12 times more likely to have suicidal thoughts than someone with a score of 0, and double the cancer risk. Why does this happen? The reason is chronic stress. We all need a little stress to keep us going. The stress response under acute or short-term conditions can actually be life-saving. But if you are stressed every day, like a child going home from school, knowing that when she gets home her father will sexually molest her, the persistently elevated stress hormones can cause the elevation of other substances in the body that can cause inflammation and negative effects, resulting in not just mental, but physical illness. Look, traumatized children grow up into dysfunctional adults who are likely to traumatize their children, therefore perpetuating a cycle of woe. So, if we want a more functional, happier, and less aggressive society, we have to stop traumatizing our children.
Welcome back to the show. Well, we began this segment with man to man because I think the point Dr. Abrams was making is very relevant to the results of Dr. Gail's own research on violence broadly and domestic violence specifically. Would you agree, Doc?
Yes. Whatever we create, right? I mean, I'm looking at I have now 298 repeat killers. It's one of the largest data set in the world of men and women who've killed repeatedly. Every single one of them, minus none, there are no exceptions, have massive damaged household upbringing. Their caregivers devastating, their environment devastating, no hugs, no love. Every single thing, all of those would hit 7 on ACE scale.
So it really confirms hurting people hurt people. That's the bottom line right there.
You fix parenting, you fix a lot.
Man.
Let me tell you the raw figures. between 75 and 85% of any mother who tortures a child was sexually or physically or psychologically tortured as a child. So if you can, the odds are just against anybody just misunderstanding.
And when you talk about tortured, we're talking about beating repeatedly.
Oh no, we do more than that, man. We tie them in ants' nests. We rub chicken back fat on them and tie them on the tree and cuss the ants for 15 minutes so the ants slow to go up and bite the child. We burn them with irons. We put, if they can't hear, we fire a shot at their heads. You need to see some of this stuff.
When you say fire a shot at their heads?
Like take a gun and fire it at the child's ear and say, oh, you can't hear, better hear now.
Parents do that
Parents
to their
do
own
that
children.
to their own children here in Jamaica.
Are boys affected differently from girls?
Yes, neurobiologically, a boy is far more affected by what his mother does to him than what his father does to him.
Really?
Because there's a system of a father's connection to a daughter. So she seeks cross-sectional affirmation from her father. To a boy, his mother is everything. We even have sayings that, as ugly as I am, my mother loves me. So if you get hugged and so forth from your mother calms you down. We have far less emotional centers or neuropeptides in our body related to emotions. We're not as emotionally intelligent as women. But by being around you and watching you carefully and getting affection from you, we learn to control our limbic system. So we're a little bit kinder to society. And if you take 100 persons who've killed somebody, over 70% of them have no parent at all. Like they're raised by a grandma or raised down the road or somebody that lives in a big yard or it's just chaotic, right? So quite often we're talking about father absence or mother absence. Actually, it's both of them absent.
So how do we fix it, Dr. Gale?
Well, it's going to be a long journey, but it begins from everybody taking responsibility for a child. I've been begging churches, families, help your neighbor, no? You have a neighbor who you see the boy out on the road digging out him hand middle, right? One day I took a boy, his entire left hand was dark. I'm like, so nobody don't see how dark one hand dark, one hand clear. You're a weed head. So somebody can help this boy. You see a boy bleaching or a girl bleaching. That's a signal to say, I need to talk to you.
And cry for help.
We don't have that. People, you see, where I grew up in the country, anybody can take you out and say, go to your yard. Here, when they come to town, people know, say, listen, I'm not trouble them people there now. Because they might take a reg.
So even the child, because I've heard adults who are trying to help a child and they're afraid of these young boys.
But guess
and girls.
what? Guess what? Somebody, a group of us have to begin to not care whether or not the child cuss you out.
We have to start somewhere.
We're too self-protective.
Yeah. And Dr. Gale, this has been such a great conversation, but I am getting a rap signal. It was really, really good. You did give us so much food for thought, and we thank you very much for sharing.
A pleasure.
We're going to go for a break and come right back.
Oh, this is a woman's world.
I've been waiting months to say this. Welcome back, my sleigh bells. Did you miss me? Did you miss me? Of course you did. Duh. Why wouldn't you? But I don't have a lot of time for you to tell me no. So head on to our Facebook page and tell me there. I promise you I'll read the comments. But today, as you can see, I got a wig in my hand. And I have a lady on set. Well, a good as. I mean, proper good as. Because I know I'm always setting up. Andreen Davis, welcome to It's a Woman's World.
Thank you so very much.
Andreen, very quickly, just go right into it. Tell our viewers what you do.
Well, I am a wig maker, self-taught, and I also supply wigs as well. So we're displaying all of that today.
So we're talking about custom-made wigs, not your grandmother's wig.
Not, those days are long gone, completely long gone. So they're custom-made depending on your head size. I know that some people struggle. If their heads are small, it's very difficult to get a wig to fit. And that's where specialized custom-made wigs come in, actually.
One head big?
We can fix that too.
Okay, so normally I would try sometimes to wear a wig because I have my natural hair and I want to protect it. What is the ideal wig? What should I be doing? How should I make sure that I look trendy? And as Stacey said, don't look like a granny.
Right, so it's very important to stay away from trends if you're not a trendy person. Otherwise, you're going to waste money. If you're somebody who likes curly hair, invest in a curly hair. And also, you need to know if you're somebody who would do a closure or a frontal. Frontal tend to be for persons who have a little bit more experience or a little bit more time to put them on. But closures, they're very easy, very quick. You can take them off at night if you decide to go glueless.
But Andreen, aren't wigs, especially good quality wigs, expensive?
They are, and they ought to be, because people will grow their hair for years, and it's very difficult to just get up and sell your hair for little and nothing. So if it is too cheap, it's likely not going to last. So
How long does a good wig last, though?
It can last you anywhere from 2 to 5 years, depending on the quality of the hair.
Well, for the money, it better last that
Right?
long, you know what I mean?
And care, how you care, it should also be a factor.
So you have to treat the hair as you would your own. So you need to deep condition, wash, and treat as you go along. And sometimes you may get split ends, so you need to have those treated as well. If you don't want to do it, you can leave it to a professional to handle that for you.
Wait, they don't want to throw me off a little bit, though. So the hair will get split ends and you need to treat
it's
it?
real. Because, yeah,
but it's not growing out of your scalp.
Yeah, but so that's the reason. So it's not being given the nutrients through your scalp. So the elements will have the hair deteriorate.
So what are the final tips that you would leave to somebody who is into wigs and wearing wigs just to make sure that they are getting the benefit of the investment that they've made?
Well, I can tell you.
Glue the hair down yourself if you don't know what you're doing.
Right. And very importantly, if you're somebody who's into wig, just ensure that the wig starts at your actual hairline or just half an inch before your hairline. Otherwise, it will look like a bang and then it's too detectable.
Time flies, guys. Time flies when we're talking about fabulous hair.
But where can we find Andreen? You have to tell her that because, you know, we need
No,
some
you know, so
Nickies.
actually, Andreen, I'm going to tell her where to find her. I'm not even tell her no business. Not too fast. Make sure tell you.
So I'm located at 6 O'Mara Crescent in Richmond Park, on Instagram as Weave Darling, and my number is 876-838-0136.
Ah, wonderful. So Pamela's got to go. So does Ingrid and Charmaine, as well as Nikki Platinum over here. But as I said, check out our girl, Weave Darling. She has the hookup. Get your hair sorted so you can slay like the true sleigh bells that you are.
This is a woman's world.
Welcome back. We're almost at the end, but we had to make room to show you what we've been up to in the break. Watch this.
They told me that we're going on this girls trip and it's so natural and we're just going to be relaxing and all this kind of stuff. And so I come natural, right? No makeup, I take a lip line and my chapstick and that's it. These two...
I have on lip gloss. It's lip gloss.
No. Okay.
No, you see the time when we talk about me no fornicate? This is a lightning strike. Look at her face. Are you going to say she have on lip gloss?
I love the energy. I love the level of excitement. And it's perfect for the day. We're going to have an amazing time in Portland. We are heading to the northeast coast of the island.
Reach.
Okay guys, so we're at beautiful Reach Falls, but when they told me about this trip, I made it very clear to them, I am not a nature girl. The two hot girls in their sexy bathing suits, in full makeup, and rain a come, and the mascara is gonna start running, my friends. But we're gonna have a good time, and you can sit and chill with me and watch the two of them climb falls. It's gonna be hilarious. Don't you dare! Don't really get back into the bus. See the things I do for It's a Woman's World.
That's a no for me.
sitting here too long. We're ready for move on. Come, let's go. Let's go. Get back in, team. Come on.
What a something.
Oh, don't realize how this one is stay ashore. I get commentary on people jumping in the water.
Every time I think about it, I vex again.
Every time I think about it,
I love the rabbit hole. It was good.
So
they drew me out of my comfort zone. I am generally not a nature lover, but it was really nice to be out. So this season, we are exploring Jamaica. Yeah. So for most of season 2, you will see your girls out and about. We're going to be at the beach. We're gonna get some really great cuisine. We're gonna go rafting. It's going to be really fun, and we're going to be sharing all that excitement. Mr. Lickamos, then drown me, no? Lickamos, them drown me.
You remember the lizard?
Don't remind me, please.
Guys, can I tell you how I went on safari? And it was the most amazing thing in the entire world. And Jamaica, beautiful. And I don't like nature
We're not
either,
there yet. We're still at the park where we did something and you didn't do anything.
You don't want to miss all of this because there comes a point in this journey, people, where I get to be the star.
Do not hold your breath. Don't do it.
So it's called Explore Jamaica, and we had a really, really great tour guide, Tika Samuda from Being Jamaican. She took us to some nooks and crannies. It was really good. All right, so look out for the rest of those tours. And on this little break, we actually stayed in contact through social media. So we heard how much fast in our business and one where we're going with. So keep your eyes out in some upcoming episodes. Our producers asked questions and we answered. So you'll learn a little bit more about us. Just enough. In the meantime, though, we want to say thanks for watching last season and for coming back this season, even as we've changed homes. It's a good look, Ty, Karine. Any final words from both of you?
Yes, like a vibe. I'm glad for so, no?
I know.
When you look like when you did bathe and so. Lotion up, exfoliate.
We're ready.
Indeed,
nice.
indeed.
Guys, we have so much in store for you. You don't want to miss anything because if you thought last season was good, this season, my friends,
is going to blow your mind.
And blow your wig off.
All right, so it's a woman's world. See you guys next week.
Get up.